squad is I feel like they definitely have the ability to reset themselves. Like I think that they've got experienced players.
Okay,
like
we got Heretics on defense, we got
obviously
Liquid
been
on
the other side,
attack.
has been part of that Heretics core, and will know that maybe that might
Why do you think the Woot plays Jet instead of ISO on the map? Isn't this map? Jet's just way better, you just dominate on defense. It works way differently to how Haven works. Like Haven, there's loads of positions where the ISO you have to force your way over towards sides. This is like, you kind of got to force it. Well, could you play it on defense because you have the Yoru? Maybe you could play it on defense, to be honest. I'm not fully against it. I think you're also like limited on attack as well, so the Jet helps. Dude, if Liquid replied with a really strong map, that would be nice.
Very clean start.
Like we all build up for an insane split 5th map.
Is still lurking, still waiting around. Rian's currently blocked out by the barrier. Well, getting anything from this point onwards is going to be difficult. Talk about the difficulties at time of that double sentinel when it's on the attack, but once you get into defensive positions, that's when it really has its value. Those post plants can be filthy. And well, at this stage for Rians,
yeah, I mean, this is
all about just finding some extra.
This is normally what we talk about when you look at the Liquid comp. If it, Jesus, this might be an early overall. If you damn, bro. Okay, last one was kind of gifted to him a little bit, but everything else there was impressive. Yeah, if this Liquid comp gets over towards the site, they pretty much win if the deadlock's alive. That's how it works.
Taking them in droves so far.
Everything is expensive. This is the default setting, yeah. But it's mostly food, man. Food's crazy expensive here.
But it's going to be funny because if you're like a scoreboard warrior, you're going to look at that and go, Koreans get 4 kills in the pistol round, they still don't win it. Like, what were the rest of the guys doing? But you can see the Liquid side are not phased by this. I think Panitek, we heard the value from Heretics when he was on that squad of a guy like.
Okay, on defense, Rians buys a Sheriff because he got so many kills.
Pumped up. You know that map loss, although it was rough, it was quick and something easy to get
Empty
over.
site, Deadlock makes it over towards the site. It's a done round.
At all. Even think back to them losing their map choice yesterday on Split to BBL. They got completely countered. They go into the next map. It's like it never happened. I think it came up with Camo getting aces throughout that map.
They might be, yeah, be enjoying that. Get a gun. Might be worth going for it now.
Every angle.
Also has the weakest weapon.
Exactly. And you talk about not being phased by that opening round. I mean, of all the rounds to lose practically all your players, that is the one, right? In the pistol, you're still going to come in on and not losing that much. A round like this, it would be a different story altogether. They're being contained on that attacking side. Rians, Sheriff in hand. A 4-piece here would traumatize the Team Liquid side. He's only good for 1.
They know, man.
Spamming it. Now they've seen him. Now they know he shouldn't be getting anything done.
Dude, I love that Woot tapped the spike there, man. I wonder if he was thinking about the Na'Vi round that happened.
Bringing forward the 2 decent rifles, the Spectre into this coming round.
Yeah, I guess when you have a buy on every player, that's a bit more damage than you would have liked, and it does mean that your bonus round is going to be a bit weaker than you'd like.
They're the worst in EMEA bonus rounds.
The stats in terms of bonus rounds, I think it does come down to that investment. Like a lot of teams are going for the sort of 2, 3 rifles, 2 pistols,
Dude,
so then you can
that's
punch back up with
that's kind of crazy.
5 rifles. It will
I feel like normally they have really good ideas.
Quote-unquote bonus rounds that we have because a lot of teams aren't playing them as bonus rounds. Also means you're more likely to lose them, but that's a different story altogether. Liquid have been playing it safe.
It only ignores China because of the API stats that are harder to get. What an absolute shot that is. What the hell? We'll say the aim at the moment is on crazy levels. They get over towards the side deadlocks here. If they can fast flood before the deadlock can set up, that's smart.
Not quite there, but Serial picks it up anyways, and what should have been a relatively convincing round, one that Liquid don't usually have a lot to say in, one that Liquid
do they even consider the Paddy Slack?
Disadvantage in terms of weaponry. This is looking like somewhere they'll find a lot of success. Benji, he's being flanked up on, but it's all about timing for Patatek. He can play this super slow, use the salvos to try to lock in the round, and that might be the best play. Playing the numbers, playing the time, but now he's got it. Oh,
Yeah, very nice from Patty there.
It's
been solid, this late play.
Team Liquid. Weapons carried forward as well. This is exactly what they needed to get right back on the horse.
Yeah, starting things off with Camo.
The sample size is bigger. That's true. Because we were saying they played like 33 best of threes, right?
A whole lot of information other than Serial's kit, and then what you can find with that solo drone. So you're even more reliant on that attack side from Camo.
Let's go.
You need him to be hitting his shots. Obviously, a lot of the time you're going to see poor stats on attack side Jets on this map because you're diving into choke points, diving into players waiting for you. But he found the important kill of the round, and while Nat's now buying
everyone
up the
can get
sniper
one
on the other
shot.
side, his aim was compared to Benji in the last map. As said, we'll see if that's something that they live to regret.
Nice shot by Patatek. A second on the follow-up, and the A side is theirs. Yeah, I think in that replay there, it was a little quiet, but I might have heard him say Heretic skill. Maybe someone did show him that clip. And if they did, that's a big mistake.
He probably said Heretic skill.
Too early, perhaps.
He said Heretic skiller.
4-0 start. Seems locked in.
The thing is with Nats as well, you know he doesn't get angry. It's more like, he's like the sort of guy who goes, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. And then we'll just rip them a new one on this next
I mean, they
map,
min-max
so
on this one, they managed to get the
definitely
ults
be
early
scared.
on, so big buy rounds. Heretics
Similarly to what we
might
saw in that last map, just running
use
away with
their
it on the
own
attack side. We
timeout.
know how devastating
They probably,
this
I mean,
defensive
they're going to
side
have a couple of set
composition
strats
can
with
end
this,
up
that's for sure. Especially with
for
the
that
camera.
side of Liquid. Just
Do some kind of camera contact,
ask
you could do
BBL.
the
They managed
insta
0 rounds on the
combo.
attack side when facing off
A
against
lot
this
of
comp.
options.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, right? It was a 13-4 map. BBL with very little to say when it came to Ascent when these two teams
The
faced
head-to-head in terms of Serial and Kamek. I think Kamek looked comfier,
start for Team Liquid. Well,
but that's purely because Serial hasn't played a lot of the roles that he's playing in these teams, like in this team.
Maybe they're just lowering it.
So I think you got to give him a little bit of time. But also, if like the general vibes in the actual team are better, then it's well.
No, I throw them in.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think it changed that much, really.
Some of us can't quite make
That's
that
why
work.
I can't do lineups because they just.
I always said Bullseye was your favorite hero. I understand.
Serial and Senti, he does look a lot comfier when he's on the deadlock. Yeah, I agree with that.
I gotta see that cosplay, Tom.
Yeah, I think I also have the head for Hitman, but that's not the point. Operator in play, Woot ready to go, but he's just been wrecked.
What is that shot? That's a
That's
fast shot.
by Serial. And although
He didn't even
the
stop
opening
running.
pick had already gone the way of Miniboo, and of course it was Camo to be dropped, you look at the ultimates that are available. The Armageddon, Annihilation, two high-impact damage-dealing ults of very different degrees. There's not a lot of good places to stand if you're on the Heretic
It's a weird
side.
one for Boo at the
A couple
moment.
good rounds now. Looks like we're seeing Serial in full scrim form. Oh, what a dodge!
Ball goes up towards heaven. Sova
Barely
ult.
avoiding that annihilation. Hunter's Fury
Sova
sent
ult
through as
doesn't
well.
get anything.
Defenders
Nats
trying
tucks
to
in.
slow down this push, but Liquid still get the space. They take down Miniboo. They catch Boo
That's
coming out of the
funny.
smoke. Serial
They
with another. And now this round seemingly
Whoa,
locked.
okay, it was lovely timing on the push for his a fast flash shot.
Between the last map and this,
I mean, yeah, it
but
just kind
he
of
is
just looks like two
locked
dominant maps
in,
either
just
side.
like the 5th round in a row for
Natch
Team
with the
Liquid.
outlaw, yeah, that's what I was laughing at, pushing close to the outlaw in heaven.
Like, who told him? Who was it? Who told him? Because it has looked like a different beast already.
Dude, what is that shot?
Yeah, I saw that in the moment. I was like, that looked filthy. And it was, okay, both the Serial's kills. It is the Sentinels leading the way at the moment.
Serial? Yeah, he's been playing good in
Patatek's
playoffs.
only died
Gotta give him
once.
that. Again, I think it's just a
Yeah,
time thing
and
for
the
him.
stat to back up what I was mentioning earlier, Liquid, 75% post-plant win rate on Ascent. And it is just, look at the comp. You get into post-plant with this comp, you have to first get past the sensors, or the trips, depending which way round, and then you have to look for the other. And that's all while remembering that the guy on the site is probably Nats, or Camo, Kiko, or Serial. You know, there's a lot of good players. Patatek's all right as well.
I was going to say, yeah, Patty's just getting thrown out to the wolves, man.
Hey, he's
Disrespect.
the man with the salvos. He's, if anything, the scariest one in the post.
If anything, he should be on the site. Exactly.
Yeah.
He should be off the site.
Yes,
love
I
that.
thought of that.
Yes. Very nice angle, Tom. 5-0 start. Team Liquid, whether it's drawing energy from the crowd, who didn't give up on them, even when it came down to the final round of that previous map. They were behind. Team Liquid all the way, and now the reward, a 5-0
yeah, this is down to the comp though.
All those factors we
Not really what the
Miniboo
after pawn success rate is on this map. It's pretty high.
The op was shut down early. Benji not having that same level of success, and that would require him 3K clutching out several rounds in a row. But still, those things are not online right now. Team Liquid have put a stop to it.
We have to say as well that you remove that additional initiator from a composition like this that you might normally have while running a Yoru. That double duelist has to be popping, and both of them are currently bottom and second.
Volume higher? I turned up a little bit for you.
That's the only way this composition works, is of individual brilliance is there to take you through the round, and I think the operator was a huge part of that on the defensive side.
What the Heretics change? The problem is Heretics are going to go aggro next round.
BBL. It's not even remotely possible anymore.
It's going to be too obvious, I think. Dude, he's incredible with a Marshall.
Road to recovery,
look
perhaps.
At it.
A second. Just as I claim, he's not online. He's been brought back into the fray. And Team Liquid now with a 2-man disadvantage. Still, though, weaponry looking
fake
very
with
good
a
for
spike.
them. Abandoning this position, though, will give the chance for some of those defenders to recover those rifles. Well, perhaps not. 4 players on A, and Liquid are walking into it.
Yeah, Miniboo was sort of the ruse. He was just meant to hold the line a little bit for the rest of the team. While Nats has tried to be cheeky and been met with a paranoia, they haven't baited out the one thing that is on the other side, and that's the utility, alongside a little bit of help from Rians. Or maybe he'll just do everything on his own. They finally got around. It's a pay-save card, Thrifty, that will get Heretics onto
honestly,
the board.
out of all the rounds to whiff on, though, probably the best round you can possibly whiff on.
So many players would top, but he
Dude, they got so many upgrades with this. This is a nuts round from Miniboo. It could actually change the whole map.
Shoot above him, so he's forced to fight me, and you can have the orb. That's the kind of guy you want on your team, leading by example.
What I love from our replay team as well.
What's that?
They wanted to make sure that we finally
they
saw
get the op out,
today.
they got the ults to the retake,
we
so
won't
let's
be
see if
seeing
they
them in
can
the
actually
server.
start holding down any of these signs.
They're in the crowd.
I thought they would go aggro here, but
Get out of my way.
they just want to get the op out.
A nice round by Heretics, but is it repeatable? Will Team Liquid fall into that trap again? It was a 2-piece by Miniboo and then a push into the stack. Little mistake by Nats, rushing out of his cage while still nearsighted.
Dude, just trying to break the drip.
I love that. Boo
He's
is
here the whole time. I don't see the fact it stays up is kind of strong. You're not
sitting
really
there.
going to try and
Anywhere.
disrespect this and duel this, even though we can see that
Paranoia
there is like a
was
safety line
correct.
that you could play behind it. Which you would be fine to actually like clear this. But I think first time you've seen it, you don't really instinctively know if it
Right, I was
overlaps.
going to say it doesn't have a way out, but he's waited for the drone.
Oh, it suppressed him. He can't get out.
Forced out? No, he
Drone
didn't
suppressed.
Take the TP.
An audacious play. Overstays his welcome. 2 players on site. They haven't been spotted.
Wait, how did both of them not see him as well?
They don't expect the second. Rienz gets the jump on the first, but
This is
he's
a crazy
dealt
round
with
to watch.
quickly by the flood of attacking players.
Yeah, they got to
And the
save that
op
op.
sounds out. Team Liquid
I
know
mean,
what they're
Benji can
against.
try to do some
Shouldn't
damage
be
here,
free
that's about it.
opportunities given to him once that smoke fades, and more importantly, that op shouldn't be committed. A 2
I mean,
versus
it's not
4,
gonna be
you
as
need
one-sided as the
mistakes to be
first
made
map,
on the
but
other
they're gonna have
side.
too
The
many
risk
rounds
you take in trying to force those will cripple your economy coming into the next,
Teo.
especially with 150
I'm
left
so
on
glad
board.
this is the last
There's
2
no
days we
choice
see a
but to
Teo.
save these weapons to the next round, and
Because
that's
it's gonna
Team
be so
Liquid,
fun
a
what
bump
everyone
in the road
decides
in
to
the
go for
previous,
on maps.
But they're right back to winning ways.
Yeah, I think I understand that when you are, again, we spoke about it earlier, the risks that have to be taken with this sort of composition when you're running a double duelist on defense, you need some of that individual flair, but I don't know if maybe someone destroyed his TP, like as he put it down, because they were around the corner pretty quick, or obviously being
They have any of those
suppressed
headbands
as well,
in the store?
denied him from being
I don't
able
think
to
so.
use it. I didn't
They're giving
catch
them
it
out
in the
free
moment.
at the
I
venue.
definitely saw he got
That's all I
paranoia,
know.
but whatever it was, it meant that Miniboo wasn't able to leave.
There's like a Liquid Discord there. They probably have the answer for you.
Cutting through.
Does he get hit by, maybe it's the drone? Ah, yeah, he just whiffed. They just whiffed the drone, and that stops him being able to TP.
Yeah, I mean, he was just too far away to see it
Just
early.
that little bit of a whiff was enough for him to get taken out by the drone, and that was basically the round falling apart because they gambled on his aggressive position and didn't have anyone else able to get in until we saw that TP. But by that point, look how far Camo had already gone.
B spams now. Everyone dodges the recon, they take the timing, they pop the cage, making it look like the normal Cypher default. He spams. This is so funny because he spams and gets the he spams instantly, and instead of getting the Cypher, he gets the Teo, so you know for sure.
sound flawless as Team Liquid
that one was easy.
attempts
That's the
to
last time the
pressure
Liquid go
the
5-person
same
B.
mistake that they forced out in the previous, but drastically different result this time.
I mentioned in the last map, it seemed like Rienz was in the Dora Explorer backpack. He has definitely got out
in
of
the
it.
same
If anything,
expensive
for the
here,
rest
yeah,
of
it's
the
kind of
team
crazy, man.
in the backpack of his own. I believe he currently has the same amount of kills as the rest of the team combined, which is definitely not a good sign for the side of Heretics. But in that round, it's at least something.
Rienz,
Solid
12 to
individual
5.
performance from him, bringing in that Hunter's Fury once more.
Dude, they're really
You can
going
see
down
the
with the
immediate
fast shots.
response
I like
is
this trip
More
strum.
of a pace change, a quick take into middle, and with already
It's hard
in
to
the
deal
net,
with, even though the
catching
majority of the time you
onto
hear it
one.
at the beginning.
Who's got to be careful, but he wins the fight.
A bit more passive with the operator this time.
Yeah, ever since they've got the op out,
Gets
it's
his
been
reward
a
for his
little
trouble. A
easier.
lot of space taken, but it's
Nice
aware.
shot.
On Team Heretics, they were watching it the whole time. Woot picking off Kiko. Miniboo wrapping around as they're worried about the op, misses his shot, and that's okay. Back out of that position, uses Util to reclaim some space, and now Woot goes walkabouts, goes looking for the pick, but it's Serial to find it in
dude, that's
response.
fast, man.
Another for Serial as he's stepping
This would be a
up,
crazy
but
clip if he
needs
gets this.
an ace to close this round out, suspecting another player on site will give him an opportunity. For now, it's passive play from Team Heretics. Oh,
Holy,
never mind.
bro.
He's isolated one.
Holy,
He's through the door
bro.
for
Wait, this
another.
clip is
And now,
nuts, mate.
Just one away from the
Because his
ace.
first kill that he gets on the op is insanely
Annihilation online
fast.
as well. He has the sensors available.
he has his
Every
ult.
single piece of the kit is
He could
available.
just 1-for-1 it with his ult.
For Serial on bench, he can't really do anything without giving his position away. He's hoping to maybe try and catch him out. But I like this reposition from Serial, realizing that he's going to expect the... Oh, no! No, he spawned it out! I thought he was just going to hold on to it, but has tried to fire it directly at his opponent. Oh, we almost just saw one of the greatest clips ever, and it
had
is
so
gonna be
much
clipped,
potential.
but not for the right reasons.
He's been
It has
annihilated
so much
himself.
potential. He was thinking what I was
Oh,
thinking, that no
that's
matter
tough.
what, you get the 1-for-1 with the ult.
Everything set
And
up
it kinda trades
perfectly.
you.
The wall up top for the info too.
But he just thought the wall
Every
wasn't
piece
broken.
of this puzzle put together
End the clip.
perfectly.
And then it ended up being the worst timing ever.
End the clip. End the clip.
Beautifully isolates every battle. This ult almost creates a target for Benji to fire back on. Nice! You can see the changing of the tides there. They see the ult online and they know this round he has to break the wall too. It's over.
It takes
Reckon it was
the
a dead
ult
com?
off. That's the worst thing. He didn't even get to use it.
Nah, it wouldn't be a
But
dead
it
com,
counts.
surely.
And the
Surely
worst
you
thing
just
is,
let him
even
play.
he has his gun there. He's played it perfectly. 100% he
He
wins.
stays under and pops
Yeah.
the ult. If it's running out and
Well, no,
up at the same time.
that's the bit that confuses me. Is that he puts himself in a position that you think, okay, he's never going to use the ult there because it's such a weird spot to try and bounce it from. Like if you go back to main, you go back to the door. There's so many sort of lineups that work. Whereas that, it's a gamble no matter what. Him swinging and just shooting him, that makes a lot of sense. You knew where he was going. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a round they never should have had. It was him almost winning it individually. It just didn't end the way you wanted it to.
This is the form that we were looking for from Serial coming into the league. What we heard about him in the background. He's a strong individual player, someone that many have questioned whether he could do down on that stage.
Well,
here
no, I
today,
think he just didn't think the wall was broken
he's
yet,
off
to
to
be
a flying
honest.
start.
He thought the wall had more left.
I felt like Nats has more phantom kills than most people have kills, but
Whoa.
there we go.
Wait, I like this.
Immediate TP towards the spawn. They found a gap that's not really being battled for, and it leaves a couple to try and hold
That's a
this
great
alone.
solo.
Rienz with a little
Oh
bit
my
of
God,
help
it's
has
incredible
managed to
solo.
find two, in fact, with the Hunter's Fury.
It's a shame for Liquid, I kind of like this strat.
After getting that round over the line, that one,
Salvo,
blink and you miss it.
salvo.
This is
You
dangerous.
push
Tom.
him into the
This is
ult and you push
dangerous.
him
Now we're
forwards.
starting to see
If no one
Heretics
pushes
activated
into the
again.
smoke,
Now we're
you
starting
don't-
to see them
you, like,
snowball,
commit.
chain together. 3 rounds in a row. After a
I like the
5-0
idea.
start, a near flawless performance from Team Liquid and almost a clutch from Serial. How close they've come. But think back to Haven. Some rounds were close. Some rounds looked like they could go on the
such a
board,
good
but the
solo.
difference was those individuals. And if they now start to step up, if we
Rienz,
see
I mean,
a
Rienz
6,
is having a map,
6 half,
man,
sure,
14 to
Team Liquid
6.
are great on the defense, but they just experienced a spanking on map number 1. We may well see that same form
Okay,
from
bit of a
Heretics.
change for Heretics. They won't go double
Regardless of
aggro
map.
over towards middle. They
That's the
lose a
talking
main
point.
control and
It's like,
reaction. They take
come into
mid.
this map and come out with a
It's
6-6.
it's something that's
Absolutely fine, but it's the manner in which it's happening. They're starting to get slammed.
Ooh.
Quick push in, nice work from Serial again.
How's
It doesn't
winning,
seem
man?
like he's let that moment get to him whatsoever, having a fantastic individual game. And already
Jesus, the
Minibu
shots at the moment.
is going to put things back in their favor. Serial and Nats, the double Senti need to hold the line, and Nats looking to try and wrap round from behind. It seems though that Minibu is well aware, even expected him to be in this corner. And now for the remaining two, they could try and bait him in. The problem is this is not planted in a position that Nats can really do anything about. And Minibu
They're actually getting a
to the
really
rest of his
decent
team.
score on
Great
half there
round from
now.
Heretics and another to the streak.
This
And
one was a
starting to
little
put together the
bit
game plan of
disjointed
Team
from
Liquid,
Liquid.
getting ahead of that fight, coming out of the smoke.
I feel like they're
It looked
rushing
for a
some of
minute
these
a bit
rounds too
silly.
much.
Boo, he's crouched down, he's caught by the net, and Rienz sits inside the smoke. But of course, you're worried about something from Team Liquid, about them flashing out normally, but with this composition, not too much of a worry. That allows them to find a couple of kills, chain them together. But from that point, there is a clear read on how Team Liquid are going to approach it. They know Nats is playing late. They know he's coming up behind. And Minibu was staring at that the whole time, waiting to pop that flash to punish.
They're going to try and go for it again. I like it.
Oh.
Maybe trying to catch them off guard a little bit with the aggression. Boo, though, it's the same
Yeah,
result.
all of these fast
Spam
strats are just
through the smoke.
getting
Does
wrecked, I
still
feel
get
like.
caught by the net, but a completely different position. It's being
Ooh, that's a
spammed by
nice recon.
Haditech, and Rienz has gone down. Woot is going to only be able to find one, and now his position's about to be revealed, and while he's
What a
pulling out the
nightmare.
pin, he will lose his life.
Yeah, great ult that forced him to avoid that snake in the grass play. Now an opportunity for the plant, the post plant looking strong. The ult online for Serial. Probably won't see him swinging out wide with it
this
this
is probably
time.
a good test of
Playing
the
nice and
the
safe
deadlock on the
down
site, you
below.
win.
Nats covering him.
Surely we popped the ult
Haditech and
early
Nate
this
waiting
time.
for salvos to come online. There it is. They just came on. So everything for Team Liquid to close this one out. The information sure will come through, and the ult will be popped. Opportunity to use it as well. He's looking in the right direction. Oh, but he's caught with it in hand again.
Dude, Serial is
down.
actually
Haditech
cast with his ult.
desperately looking to
Oh,
put
and he delayed his
into play,
salvo,
but it's
so they got
already gonna be
half.
They've got time on their side if they can force this peak, and it will be forced soon. Minibu, the bodyguard, the man he has to get
Oi,
through, and
nicely done
Haditech
from
does
Passy.
it.
He had to win that
Just
duel.
about finding the Red
they
Bull
got close,
clutch
though.
and the lead at the halftime.
Yeah, they needed a safe pair of hands, and it's Haditech versus his old roster.
I feel like I'm
to at
banning
least give
Serial
them the
from
lead
using
at the
ults when he
half,
gets over
but
towards the
it should have
site.
been so much more. A decent resurgence coming out from the side of Heretics, but they're going to need a bit more in that second
Oh,
half.
he
We'll
was-
see if
he was
they
just
can
trying
do
to buy
it
time
after
with
the
it.
break.
He thought they weren't going to push once he popped the ult.
You're done.
Yeah, before we get wrecked again. The results. I swear he had this the other day as well, though, with his ult. He's just he's just a little bit cast. I think he just needs to pop Amalia, to be honest. It's like the other one was like midway through that hesitation of like, should I pop ult? Serial deadlock ult. Deadlock will be used for when they tap the spite. You could definitely do something about that, like have after plant positions. You might see it become more common when Teo goes out and people have to like think a little bit stronger. Because at the moment the Teo just sits off site and that's like easy, right? You don't really want like two people sitting off site because then your site holds become too weak. But once Teo's out, you might start seeing that. But again, it's only like when you have this ult. Comes like Brim ult a little bit.
Welcome back. 2 rounds in it. It was looking like a dominant map for Team Liquid, but there's still some fight in Heretics here on Ascent.
I mean,
After
they still got too many
13-3
rounds
opening
of
map,
double
we
sentinel.
know what happens when Heretics get the ball rolling, but now, Tom, they face Team Liquid's defensive side here on Ascent, a side that has been enough to crumble even the best of teams. Will their form found in the last couple be enough to carry them through it?
Well, the stats tell you no.
Well,
they really are filthy, and I think especially with the double duelist trying to dive through these setups are going to be so difficult. Well, this time
did they bring back the pistol? They did the same pistol they did last time.
Pistol round start.
Did they keep repeating pistols?
From the defensive side of Liquid, not shying away from a fight. You have to be careful though. A couple of players tagged up at least a little bit, and the kills quickly going back the way of
Heretics. It's a 2v4.
Benji and Woot somehow turning this just to one man. But that one man is Nats. He knows exactly where they are, but might just miss the boat on the timing.
Just about.
That's unlucky.
Slipped into main. Still a trap covering that cross. Will be broken soon, and Nats will know exactly what's going down. But in not too long, Benji's going to have that cam back. And with that available for the post plant, they can play Boathouse.
Good info. I think the comms, okay, comms come in that they're both minus 50, so he knows that they're both one body shot.
50 HP. And a Sheriff recovered. The body shots, all that he needs, but he's got to be quick against Woot and Benji Fishy, a man who had so many 3Ks I lost count in the previous map.
Double swing off camera.
Second he makes this cross, Benji will have the information, he even has the tag, and they peek him together. What a resurgence from the side of Heretics around.
Where are the pistols? It's 3-1, right?
Until that smiley duo of Benji and Woot have turned that pistol. And to be honest, I think they need it.
I think Heretics had to get pistol here anyway to make this a close game.
To play it's almost reductive in what you're able to do. Like if you're a Jet, you try and dash in. Maybe you're met by a trip, maybe you're met by a sensor. Either way,
at least they all did it together, I guess.
It can leave Minibu in position where he's teleported
they probably should have hit some more shots there too.
It really is tough.
It's a bad round for Liquid to lose, but again, at least they all died doing the same thing together.
And you can understand the logic to Team Liquid still taking those fights. They can reset into a 2-2 setup or having someone passive on a site, allow a post plant, and have to fight into it. Give numbers.
My goodness, it's a fast one.
It's an anti-eco.
Dude, look at look at how many kills this guy's got in comparison to everyone else.
The Guardian just shredding through those unarmored opponents. My goodness.
It's just farming, like 4 exit kills and an ace and an eco. The man is just getting as many orbs as he possibly can. Well, yeah, you mentioned he's now 2 away from having that Hunter's Fury already. Incredibly
19-9.
Clean start to the second half, but this is where things should get a little bit more difficult. But again, we mentioned it in the first half, the fact that you'll see Liquid with a lot of light
Sova nice and early.
4 rifles and a sniper and a very quick attempt.
Oh, this is a nice round at the moment.
Perfect. It gives Woot that opener.
Okay, they're gonna think there's so many numbers behind this though.
Hunting him down either
So,
way.
good amount of space over towards B. They do have a camera there. Is the camera the spots early or is it above them?
Versus the anti-eco, but now it's the rifles they play against. The A pressure, the pick there too, has found a big rotation. And only now do you see Patatek come back to clear mid. 1 spotted, and a second suspected the B site under
that's an
pressure.
incredible kill. Keeping on the double push on short.
There are weaknesses to this buy for Heretics, but the numbers are the main disadvantage now. A 2 versus 4 that they're left in, and a great read by Liquid. They are all over this.
Yeah, quick response. Nats not being over-aggressive, just making sure that he can hold that line, and Benji is all that stands between them and reclaiming their lead. They're actually happy for him to have the site. Not something they're particularly bothered about. Well, he's trying to get there as quietly as possible, but the only real thing he's hoping for is a gap. He has found a massive gap, potentially. 1 down, the second not quite going his way.
Dude, that's pretty unlucky for him.
Low, but that could have been a difference maker.
For him. He should have got 2.
Just trying to find any space that he humanly can. In fact, they
damn,
are looking
dude.
the other direction.
He's silent everywhere he goes.
He seems to make every single of these rounds so desperately close.
That's a lot of damage
considering
done.
That's a bonus, it could have easily been 4, 5 players left standing. Well, all that's left is 1.
Almost 1, yeah, he almost did.
Didn't see that player in market.
Silent dropped down into the silent and jumped back over towards lane. It's pretty sick.
Into spawn. What a recovery. And again,
it might actually matter because it's so much damage done.
Quite as much. Well, here in this half, he certainly has been. That's the lead for Team Liquid, 8-7. But they were up against a light buy. And they struggle, they stumble, and it's this man to make them crumble in that
Yeah, it means that they
round.
can bring out the
Luckily,
outlaw. We've got
they
3 people
recover
that can get one
just in
shot,
time.
and this is an important round.
Their
We've got 1,
economy
2.
takes a big hit, and a loss
Sure,
here
we'll
could
give
give
them that.
Heretics the lead in the next.
We got
3 sets of light shields.
1-9 loss bonus. Yeah, we got 5 people and 2 people that can't buy next.
Boo. I think considering shooting his own dart. There is not a Sova on the other side, so it's not something he has to worry about too much, but maybe getting lost in the moment. The defense regressing into middle. There are a fair few pieces missing in this round, and this outlaw is as deadly as ever. They're going to go swinging into
that
it.
is,
And those are
that's,
just easy picks for
that's
Miniboo.
2 of
That's
the 3 that
damage
were light
that
armor. They
Benji
had
caused in the
no
last round. They
idea
couldn't
the outlaw
afford
was
those
in
heavier
play.
shields.
And it
And
does
while
look
those
like
are
they
the
like to go
freest kills
aggro
he
and
might
short.
get
We
all
had that
day.
good reaction there.
That guy deserves
This
an
might have been a
assist
good
for
call
that
from
up on the
Heretics, to be
scoreboard.
honest with you.
He's not going to find it, though.
It's
Still,
not enough.
he'll be.
I wonder if that's like their
Yes,
normal
isn't he?
reaction from
Let's
walling
roll
off
the 6 at the
towards here,
moment.
because they were
They'll
very
be happy
ready for
enough.
this.
They win this round. Damage done, and he's dealt with in the
Yeah,
end.
and because of the damage from last round,
from all those players on
I
top
think
mid.
these 2 probably have to start
Now we're 5
saving.
versus 2.
Heretics will love the
Seems
free
like the
K
hard
here.
work's being done. It's a
30
formality
seconds left.
to attempt to close this out. The cage saw nothing. Little does Nats know that there's a player just around the corner. Boo won't quite catch him. The players on site may well do. 1 for Nats.
Careful.
Much more
Careful.
needed
Wait, how?
and found. He's
Surely
down to
they don't go
17
for this,
HP.
though. Well,
the space has been claimed.
my
for the
goodness.
plan. Wow.
Imagine he got an extra one
Really
there.
don't want to give
Bots
this man
2 on
anything.
site, hasn't spotted the other.
Cam still set up for the corner. Boo sectioned off. Trying to get information to that back site. But they're now just looking to lock in. Ultimate for Ian's, but probably not going to be utilized in this scenario. And now the gap's been found by Kiko, but this leaves Nats still desperately low. They made this one costly, or more so he has. But anything more from here should be an impossibility, and Rian's make sure of it. The
They got a little
safest
scary
pair
still.
of hands you could hope for, right at the top of the board in terms of clutch statistics, but
Yeah, it's gonna get
that
close.
won't add to them.
No,
Like we've
well,
got
he
eco.
still had a buddy helping him out. But with the late mid play was a thorn in the back.
2 and 10 right now. Sova.
What an unbelievable reveal, and thank you so much for popping that in the replay.
What's it
There
hitting
was
off
no
of, though?
need, and otherwise,
The light?
very impressive round from Rienz as he picks up that 3-piece and a round for the side of Heretics. You have to question Serial going back out. You hear the bang of the outlaw. You know you've got low shields. You say, I'm going to swing and trade you. Well, there are 2 barrels to that sniper rifle,
Yeah.
and it fires quite quickly indeed.
Hey, he's been hitting headies. I appreciate the confidence, but that confidence may end up being their undoing. Right now, it's been a very aggressive defensive side.
Dude,
we
they
talked
closed the
about
door
how
just
difficult
as
it can be to walk
he's
into
pushing all the way through.
these sort of defensive crossfires. And while so far, I don't think they've really been challenged to do so. A lot of it has been Liquid trying to get up in their face,
Whoa,
pressure
this
them, and
is
that's
nice,
exactly what
though.
they're
They're
doing now.
fighting-
in
they're
this sort of
fighting
round.
for the,
It's kind of
gun as well.
expected with the weaknesses,
I
the
like that from
vulnerabilities
Liquid
of
here, it's good.
Rienz. He's eco-farming again.
If Rienz was a little bit further forward, if he doesn't react as quickly as he does to that paranoia, this round was in a lot of trouble. The pressure put on B, so many players rotated in there for Team Liquid, and those pistols coming around would have been upgraded quite quickly indeed, but nothing goes the way of
That's
Team
another
Liquid
3K.
beyond that first pick. And 9 rounds now on the board, as expected. Team Liquid have been able to find themselves a couple rounds in that first half.
Wonder if
He thought it would be enough to close out, but 1
wonder if
out
we
of
see a
5 so
timeout
far.
here.
Just one more kill. He has double anyone else in the whole server.
1 enemy remaining.
Yep.
We're going into round 18. Like, it's genuinely, like, sure.
This looks like a ranked game. That you see
25
those
to
kind of
10.
25 and 10 is a ranked scoreline.
25 to 10.
As I said, he didn't have much to
18
do in
rounds.
map number 1, kind of along for the ride, but on this map, Liquid's choice, one where they were definitely favored. Well, Camo's at least going to kick things off, but the response, even
Good
while
there. He's got to
into
go
a
for the
smoke,
safe
dashing away,
stun
Miniboo
away.
is quick
I
enough.
mean, dash away.
It is Benji
That was a
down.
bit of a
There's
madness
good
for him,
player to take out,
decision-wise.
but at the loss of Camo. But again, it's an aggressive stance. That's his sort of role within this. The rest of the team, you expect to have that util, that delay. And with the ultimates that they have available to them, it kind of needs to be
For sure, Liquid
a
push off
Liquid
short
round,
a lot,
otherwise
though.
it
We
does
saw him
feel like
looking at
Heretics
short
have
here.
almost just got this in the bag.
Well, Heretics already scoring, what, double the rounds on the attack than every other game for Team Liquid on this, 2 other games, combined. This has been an impressive display from this attacking side. A big push by Mini.
Damn, Kiko.
Kiko manages to slip out of his grasp. That's not quite so lucky.
Hey, you did incredible though. Fair play.
As Miniboo eventually finishes off his dinner. A 2 versus 2 were left in. A plant needed by Heretics. Hunter's Fury
That was kind of
already
sick
used,
to watch, man.
to be honest,
I have no idea who he's alive on that. Double ult if they want it.
Spike planted.
Serial's ults are a little bit cast though.
Annihilation
Oh,
used a
surely.
little bit later. He's almost using it just to try and target players, and he has caught
Oh, he
one,
got
and
one.
will get the second as well. It's finally worked out for Serial. That ult has felt like his undoing the entirety of this map thus far, but it's put into play,
Finally
and he
worked.
will do the rest. 9-9, scoreline
That's messed
equalized,
up.
and Liquid looking to build.
Dude, Kiko did insane on site here, bro.
As soon as that ult was popped.
Especially because he seems to be allergic to bouncing it,
Yeah.
which is the weird thing. You know
gotta
the
see.
guy's
Yeah, all
planting,
decisions are
you know
dashed on
roughly
them.
where he's doing it, but yeah, he just wants to like shoot it. He's
Get
using
in.
it as like a showstopper. It's a very weird way to do it. Of course, for Woot, that is his 1,000th kill in the VCT, which when you consider how late he actually joined even for this team, that is absurd.
1,000 kills?
Like, he literally, wasn't even there at the beginning
Yeah,
because of how
it's
things
TS.
were going.
Well, that's Wood hitting his 1,000 kill mark as the DRX attempt. Big push coming through from Team Liquid. Benji's waiting for it. He's already caught 2 on the main push. Is he ready for
My
Camo?
guy, he might get
He
another.
won't be. If the ult gives him info in time, there is the info. But
Yeah,
Camo's
the
moved
info's incredible.
quickly.
They can
Still,
insta-push over
enough of a
towards it. They
distraction
got
caused
double
on that
kill
side,
trip
and now
over towards
A
door.
not
Ult
quite
goes
wide
in.
open.
Now you're playing
In fact,
on
the
your
ult is
kill
gonna stop
trips.
the further aggression. It's going to cause problems for the player now. Stuck on site, never mind. Woot is quick on the trigger, leaving Camo to do it all. He's already picked off 2. An ace. The entirety of Team Heretics have to fall at his hands, or double digits will be found by Heretics. And this attack side win streak will continue.
His first battle was with the window.
Spike planted.
The rest might be a little bit tougher. 3 to find, and they're just not going to give him anything. A peek here would be an unnecessary risk that you just don't expect to see from players of their
Wu was
caliber. And you
incredibly
can
patient there.
witness that he had to make a move, had to make a play.
Who's the next
The back and
round?
forth
3 of them
continues. The
died.
problem,
I'm
though,
pretty
is
sure
that
there's 3 that
this
can't
back
buy
and
for
forth
Liquid
hasn't
here.
really been doing much damage to the side of Heretics. Their
They gotta have
economy
a timeout.
still in a good spot, and
They
their
have to.
ultimates almost getting back online rather than dissipating. And for the other side of things, well, they invested a Blade Storm.
Benji and Rienz are
invested
playing way too good, dude.
Armageddon into this one, and they get nothing for both.
Really well played by Benji as well, being able to contain that push coming towards him from 2 different angles. A Blade Storm even thrown at him. An ult that would be very much appreciated by Team Liquid in a round like this. 10-9, the biggest challenge that Team Liquid have seen on their defensive side by an order of magnitude. And now they come into this having lost 5 of the 7 rounds we've seen played out with a timeout. They'll be going into an eco or a low buy afterwards.
They have
unless
a
this
buy,
is
they got low
brace
buy
and
here,
force
Liquid.
attempt, and Lohan's looking stressed. This could be
I mean,
the
yeah, you gotta be
2-0
stressed with
start
what's
for
going on here.
Heretics with their pick of Icebox up next. The beginning of the end spelled out in front of Liquid.
Especially as it looks like their normal
11-9
reaction
is
over
the
towards
scoreline
short has
they'll
kind of
likely
been
have to battle
sussed
back
out.
from.
They
This
gotta do
was,
something
like,
else.
Looking at the pool, other
I
than
mean,
maybe
I would
split,
just Palmer
this was
put that
probably
look
the
over towards
safest
B
pick that
main
was
here,
going to
but
be there for the side of Liquid. This was a defensive side that we were sort of marveling about. We were talking about how impressive this defense had been, how teams had struggled to get anything done. 2 rounds
What the hell?
of everything played, and well, as you mentioned earlier, the duels between Benji and Nats had only ever gone one way. I don't think that's going to be the story today, unless maybe you flip the names.
Yeah, I think it might be about right the other way around. The story is of Rienz, 26-12 at the moment.
He's kind of good.
An unbelievable display, digging deep in a moment in a map where they need it more than ever. Team Liquid struggling, and Nats
Great
traded
trade, though.
out quickly. I thought that could have been a change of pace. Pressure put on A, big play up on B, but instead this push comes into empty space. As Team
They
Heretics
can
gear
own
up
and
for this
TP
A
over
tape
it. They
that is
decide to break
right
it till they
now
get info on that one.
Oh, and yeah, Woot's going back.
And
He's
Serial's
just
just gonna
decided,
be
you know
swinging
what?
this.
I don't like being the second best Turkish player in the server at the moment, so I'm going to try and find some players as they run away, and where you just look at the A site. There's nobody there. Only really looking for sound cues. I think realizing with the drone that, okay, there's a few dangerous positions we're yet to check, but from here on out, it should be comfortable. The only player I'm really looking at is Serial. He's been having a great performance. A lot of it has been individual brilliance and headshots, and hey, almost work it out with the salvos, but almost in a round like this doesn't really win you anything.
Exactly. All or nothing in this round here. Paranoia thrown through. It's not caught them, but and we come back to the weaponry they've got. Time delay, all that Heretics need to go for. Spike plant's nice and open. Woot. He's taking a risk. Going up top. They've got main control, they've got heaven, they've got players on site.
Well, Heretics' money is going to be unbelievable.
But it seems like Team Liquid, they won't be going for this. They'll be containing. They'll be looking to cause damage. Keep that economy modest, and for some players, it is getting a little out of hand.
Okay, let's see what let's see what the Liquid timeout was for. The Liquid timeouts have normally been pretty good.
That he was up against.
They really need help with what's going
He's hit
on.
that 1,000 kill mark.
I'm doing some kind of punish over towards B main with Deadlock.
This is what they will have discussed in the pause for Team Liquid. This is one of their, if not the last chance.
Can they afford an op or not? They should have saved enough for an op here, in my opinion.
They would show up on, especially after the 5-0 start.
Yeah, the way that they kicked off this map, it was looking like a done deal. Very calm, collected, and as it was mentioned on the desk, how difficult it can be to play the attack side with the comp, but they got more than enough rounds. The funny thing is,
this is what I would have done, but I would have had an op here.
The operator
well,
being
the op's in a different position, but sure. Heretics go for the fast A, and it's a great Omen flash.
This attack side, Nats. He's been overwhelmed in a lot of scenarios. Well, he's overwhelmed again. Woo, continuing the form of the last round. 4 in that one, 2.
Dude, the double duel is just disrespecting all the util.
Now that op good in the early round, good when posted up.
Nats was just solo A at the beginning.
It's going to clear all these angles. The trade's not easy to find, but they've caught Benji unaware. The spam off the reveal, not quite
that's a
working
fast
out,
kill.
but Miniboo drops camo. That's
him flashing for himself on
likely
that.
to be recovered as they seek to
Mate,
battle it out with the rifles.
Miniboo shots
but it's
here are
Heretics
insanely nice.
winning that battle with flying colors and 3 chances to close out Team Liquid's map pick. Last time they faced in a BO5 or faced at all,
what was the score
it was
at its peak?
3-0 in the other
At its
direction.
worst?
But what a difference time has made to this battle.
Across 3 maps, managing just 15 rounds. It was
Jesus,
a dominant
that shot is
display
fast, bro.
from Liquid.
Second shot's
Bear in
nice as
mind,
well.
that was for qualification to Bangkok as well. That was a
Same
that
Look
was
on A. No, I think they
basically
should do the same setup. I just think they need to double hold
leaving
sight if they're gonna just
the Heretics boys at home.
like if they're gonna hold sight, they gotta have more than just the one.
It's a battle for a trophy, something Heretics have been looking for a long time, but they've still got a way to go just yet. Kiko stepping up alongside Camo. They might be bleeding, but this roster has proven before.
Yeah, Liquid did a big change up here, and it was having the Omen anchoring on sight and the Cypher here instead of the other way around.
Well.
Makes way more sense with the Omen flash.
Series we'd look at this and go, well, at least it's not Miniboo. At least it's not Benji. But by God, Rienz has hit godlike form.
I'll be honest, I never think that. Anytime it's Rienz, I'm scared. This guy's too good.
A Plantier gets him a Hunter's Fury. The glass broken, they know where he is. The push-up from Camo as well. He's going to have players coming in from the top and the bottom of the map.
Dude,
to
he has
reveal
so
them.
much
He's trying
time
bait
to
them
play
in.
with.
This is beautiful. They're slow as well. They're not giving them the opportunities. I like this from Liquid. The discipline on display.
There's no need to get aggressive. You have so much utility. You have the net available. You can even go in with the extra sensor if you need, but it's not going to be the case.
Okay,
they
2
catch him before he can really
3.
become too dangerous, before he hits his full peak power. But it's another single round in the blip of many. And I don't mind the idea. It feels like Heretics were just on a steamroll. I'm just going, okay, let's just try this once more, running into the A side. They won't expect it again. We've been able to overwhelm Nats. Like, Nats is 11 and 19, which it's not the worst statistical line, but you know who Nats is. You know the performances he's been having over the last couple of games, especially. He has dragged them kicking and screaming through matches when needed, but in this case, he is down there. Kiko also struggling versus this squad. But they're not going to care if they get it to overtime. That will be the main thing for Liquid. We know that they've had these late resurgences. Again, I hate to keep rubbing salt in the wounds with EBL, but 5 rounds
Can
in a
I
row.
turn the crowd down?
You were
I
thinking
don't
of
know.
the
I don't know
Na'Vi
saying
comeback.
that.
That's a different in-game leader, so I wouldn't blame Nats for that. And even versus
Chat, why are you hanging on the crowd so much today?
the game for
Let
qualification,
them have their fun.
it looked done, and then they ended up having those moments still, going to overtime. It's a squad that knows
Webber the
how to go
assistant
the
coach?
distance. And
Yeah,
I think that's why we've
technically
seen
he's
the
the
coaching
assistant
staff, even
coach, but
after just a
honestly, they
singular
pretty
round,
much
go,
share it half and
let's
half.
pause. Let's make sure that whatever we're about to do, it's impactful.
That's interesting. 4 aces for Heretics in partnership, 15 for Liquid. Sometimes they've needed those. You look at this though. Look at the score line on the bottom.
Koreans I won today.
They haven't been able to chain together 2 rounds. This, somehow, coming into this map, you would not have thought this possible to ask, can they get 2 in a row on the defense?
I
Team
mean, it's a
Liquid
killer
have had that
combo,
problem,
man.
and it's a great
God knows
predictive
smokes on
play
this
for
one. We've got a
Rams.
free
After the
site. They
first
find out
tag,
where one
Kiko
trip
is
is as well. They
hunted
get
down.
3 over towards the site to hold strong,
Use
though.
that dimensional drift in
Shock
tandem
misses
to
both
give that
trips.
opener. Removing one
Wait, how
player
did the
from
Shock
action,
miss
but
both
the
trips?
trip in a sneaky spot has managed to even things up. Camo even looking to go back in.
How's that even
reclaim
possible
space,
where they are?
Get into position
Nice
once
shot.
more, turning things back into an advantageous position alongside Panatek, leaving just Minibu standing. They used their ultimates. They threw everything into this one. And just look at the patience from Liquid. They
know about
once
the
again,
trip,
hey,
but they
I
knew
give
about
this
the
guy an
close
individual
trip.
fight. Maybe my head
They
goes
didn't know about
missing.
the
Maybe
deeper
I give them
trip.
away back into this round.
So they only knew
But if
about
we
this
stick
one, so
together,
they dashed over
he
it.
doesn't stand
Like,
a
it wasn't
chance.
bad. The
Net
fact there's
and
double trip
salvos to
here.
work
But
with.
honestly, the Shock should have
No gate
broken.
crash either for Minibu.
I didn't see where
Sometimes he could
the
go
Shock went,
tap it
but
on A and take his
I
gate
know
crash
he
over to
went
B,
for
got
it
none
in
left
this
to put
area.
down. The rotation is going to be a long one. And Team Liquid sitting outside the entry of A, waiting to throw that utility through and end this round. Well, they're going to have to use it to clear out space. Because this
It was
read is
double,
good, but
yeah,
there's still
yeah.
a sensor
Yeah.
in play.
Right, I know you
He's
play
gonna have to
Sage
walk
and you don't
past
have
it.
trips, man. It's all good.
Probably going to get caught by it. Makes it through the corner as well, but it does give the info to Team Liquid. They now know where the hit's coming through. They can hopefully contain him on that side.
Yeah, I wonder if the giant
good
shotgun is
reposition.
going to be brought out by Serial.
Ooh, it gets
Might
a little
end up
scary.
being his
They cleared it
demise, but
early.
looking to try and run through, clearing the few angles that are left, but you'd hope that this one wouldn't go unchecked.
Hold their
Minibu in a bit of a sneaky spot. They've all got past it to already go his way. It's a mistake from Liquid that might just be the end of the map. Camo trying to back
Holy man, he's 1v3 done. No, dude, they like turned the corner just as he got there. It was nice from him. You gotta give it to him, but that's a disaster from Liquid. Dude,
Unbelievable.
6-1 at its
The
peak.
correction of the last time they played, it was 3-0 to Team Liquid. Heretics.
Minibu, I mean, yeah, he had a 1v4 on Haven. He gets a 1v3 here.